So that was Friday. We're up to May 17th right now. And then it's Saturday morning and I'm taken into dialysis. And I am eagerly awaiting meeting my hematologist oncologist to find out what the diagnosis means, because I haven't heard from an actual expert yet. That's Dr. Henry Igid. And I was expecting to meet him after dialysis, which was happening at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I figured I would see him probably around 9:30 or so in my room. But he comes to dialysis and says, "Hi, I'm Dr. Henry Igid. I am your hematologist. I'd like to talk about your kidney biopsy." And Kara's not there. She's downstairs. And I said, "Can I call Kara and have you talk to her over the phone as well as me?" And he says, "Sure." And this guy, from the very first moment I met him, he has such a gentle spirit, gentle bedside manner. And I could just sense that he was anointed. And on that Friday, as I'm sitting there saying, I can't believe I'm not getting out of the hospital on Friday, I'm thinking in my head, there must be somebody I'm supposed to meet in this hospital, whether it's a patient, a nurse, who knows? I'm supposed to be here for a reason at this point. And I've got to internalize that I am supposed to still be in the hospital because I haven't met somebody I need to meet yet. And as we all know now, that's Dr. Henry Igid. So I get out my phone and I dial Kara. And Kara's name in my phone is a pet name that we have. And I call her, she answers the phone, and I say, "I'm going to put you on speaker. I've got the hematologist, Dr. Henry Igid, here." And Dr. Igid says, "Hi, is this Pookie?" And I'm telling you, I laughed so hard in dialysis. It was a guffaw. It was so funny for him to say, "Hi, is this Pookie?" Because that was the pet name that was in my phone. And I laughed. I said, "No, it's Kara. That's her name. You can call her Kara." So he just got off to an A+ start with that laugh. You just cannot comprehend how funny that was to me. "Hi, is this Pookie?" That's one of the many reasons I love you, Dr. Igid. We get past the pleasantries. Dr. Igid says you are suspected of having multiple myeloma kidney. And I said, wait. Let me stop you. Are you saying it's not confirmed that I have multiple myeloma kidney? And he says, "No, you're not confirmed. It is suspected. You should expect that diagnosis to come in. But the only way you will know what you have is via a bone marrow biopsy." He looks me directly in my eyes and he says, "I am begging you. I know you want to get out of the hospital really badly, but please stay in the hospital and have this bone marrow biopsy. Because if you don't have the bone marrow biopsy on Monday," and they had tried really hard to get me the bone marrow biopsy on Friday, which they could not do. But he said, if I don't have the bone marrow biopsy on Monday, that it would take me 3 weeks to get another bone marrow biopsy. And because of Dr. Igid, his spirit, his bedside manner, his niceness, everything about him, his anointing, I agreed. I said I would stay until the bone marrow biopsy was done. And I was told I could pretty much leave after the bone marrow biopsy as long as my dialysis chair was ready. But Dr. Igid told me that it was not confirmed as multiple myeloma kidney, and that the only way that it could be confirmed was via a bone marrow biopsy. So that nurse practitioner misspoke badly, and I had to go back to CN in California and tell him that it was not confirmed. Not confirmed. And then it became a waiting game. I don't remember what day it was, but at some point I met a nurse named Chelsea, who became very interested in the Texas versus Davis project. I wanted to show her a particular asset that we had that I thought she would find interesting. And it just didn't work out. And I thought she was going to be my nurse the following day, but she wasn't. But she was awesome. She had such a great attitude. And she talked with me a lot during that day, whatever day that was. She was my nurse. So I just want to give one extra kudos to her. There's another CNA I want to give kudos to. And that's Ascene. Pretty sure her name is spelled Ascine. And after my diagnosis came in of the kidney biopsy, she was hovering around a lot. She was clearly an angel. And she talked to me about dialysis. She talked to me about peeing. She was telling me how all the people that were in dialysis when I was getting my dialysis, not a single one of those people peed. So Saturday was uneventful. I don't remember anything standing out on that day whatsoever. On Sunday, I was taken in for another procedure. This time, it was to put a CVC in my chest, which is a more permanent version of the port that's used for dialysis. That surgery, I don't really remember anything. It's a little bit more involved surgery than the one that was in my neck. But I came out of there, and I went directly into dialysis. And from the moment I came out of that version of dialysis, I could only pee at a trickle. Up to that point, I'd been peeing normally. But when I came out of that dialysis, I could only pee at a trickle, and they wanted me to give them a urine sample of substantive note. And I had gotten about halfway there, and a nurse came in and dumped it. Remember what I said about mistakes? And I could not produce a urine sample the rest of my time in the hospital. It was just a trickle. And Ascene came in, and I was telling her about how I was concerned that I was losing my ability to pee. But I was told by multiple people that if you're trickling, you are still peeing. And Ascene told me about people in dialysis don't pee at all. That me peeing a little bit is better than nothing. And she gave me one piece of solid advice that I've held on to ever since. 2 words. Keep peeing. As long as I'm peeing, I have kidney function. And she said that was the most important thing. But when I came out of dialysis, I was just peeing at a trickle. That's all it was. Monday comes. It is bone marrow biopsy day. And I know everybody's seen a bone marrow biopsy on TV. And that looks painful. And I had no idea what to expect. And Dr. Abello was very interested to find out what it was going to be like by the time it was done. So I get wheeled to a room that's very similar to the kidney biopsy room. Maybe even been the same room, I don't know. And I meet Dr. Richards, who is A+++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++ recommend him enough. And he tells me what it's going to be. He said they're going to pump a lot of pain meds into me. They're going to try to put me into a twilight sedation where I won't remember anything. He's going to give me 4 shots of lidocaine, and then they're going to extract what they need for the bone marrow biopsy. And I brought up the thing about the pain and TV, and he kind of laughed, and he said, yeah, if you're in a clinical situation, sure, it could kind of be like that. But in a hospital situation where you're being controlled with pain meds, he said you probably won't feel anything. He said this procedure gets a really bad rap on TV, but it's not really like that. I said, okay. I was relieved. And I'm put onto the thing very similarly to the kidney biopsy. I think my arms are in a different position though. And about 15 minutes later, an anesthesiologist guy comes in. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy that I had for the kidney biopsy, but I can't remember for sure. I never saw his face, but his voice sounded familiar. And my IV at this point is in kind of an inconvenient location on the inside of my left forearm. And so it was a little hard for the medication to start pumping in. But he said, I'm about to pump you up with a bunch of pain meds. He's massaging my arm. He's massaging the IV lead. And then I hear, the doctor is here. He is about to begin.